Hello! I'm just going to talk for a few minutes about Maverick, Top Gun 2. As a big aviation movie fan, this blew up the interwebs in July and I stayed silent. The reason I stayed silent was because I wanted to sort of see how things baked out. I still know nothing more than this trailer. I'm not following any of it. I'm not, knocking on Tom Cruise's door or anything like that. I'm actually suffering a cold right now, so I thought I can't concentrate on code and I can't concentrate on modeling, so what can I do? Well, I'll talk about this. And as a kid, I was a big aviation movie fan. Top Gun was up there. Top Gun was up there. US Navy aviation was always up there. But Top Gun wasn't my favorite. I had a bike. I had a road racer bike. And I give most of vehicles and things that I have a nickname. A nickname was Take My Breath Away, after the song from Top Gun. I don't think I ever went as fast as either the Jet or the Peugeot 406 that had to outrun the line of napalm in the advert, but I certainly had that bike. And seeing Top Gun 2 today, well, it just amazes me. So let's just watch together. I think everybody does this, and hopefully Paramount Pictures don't mind me sharing along with you as I watch this for the umpteenth time, and I will commentate over the top as I see fit. I hope you can actually hear me now, so this cold isn't doing me any good. See, now I
30 plus years of service.
Cinematography there. See that, just the little details there. So look at the horizontal line of the horizon. It's almost perfect with the plane. So they've set this up, and I would guess that they've gimbaled this camera so they could move it directly into position. But that is a spectacular shot. I don't think this is CG, of course. I think this is a real shot. If it's CG, it's done really, really well. The interesting points are that obviously these are vents from the engines. This is a hatch cover. It's imperfect. We can see the line and the salt degradation of the rivet heads. It's authentic. It's not clean and crisp. If you go back and look at the original Top Gun, the aircraft were shining. They were clean and crisp. It was an advert for the US Navy and the F-14 Tomcat especially. This is obviously an FA-18 Hornet of some description.
Combat medals, citations. Only man to shoot down 3 enemy planes in the last 40 years. Yet you can't get a promotion, you won't retire. Despite your best efforts, you refuse to die. You should be at least a 2-star admiral by now. Yet here you are. Captain. What is that?
It's one of life's mysteries, sir.
Now, I'm guessing here, because this is an FA-18, they've actually got one of the 2-seat varieties, so the pilot's up front, and we're taking this elongated look at the position of the cockpit. So one thing I'll do later is have a look at a single seat and a dual seat FA-18 and look at where the wing root and the canopy would come into being. Now, I've got a pretty good reference point with the back of the seat coming down roughly in line here. I'm not sure if it's there or there, but we'll have a look at how things fit in. I'm guessing that this airline comes off the seat in some way, or this line goes along, so we can get 2 or 3 good references on the right hand side and the left hand side, and go from there. Obviously everything will be slightly different, but you know, the fact that he's actually in the plane really is quite impressive. that there. So that is a Mustang. For a second, I thought that was a 109. So it looks like a Mustang to me. So yeah, we've got a low fly past on a road. Interestingly, the car on the road is driving on the UK side, the left-hand side. So obviously this wasn't filmed in the UK, but maybe they were hedging their bets and giving the pilot some positional location. I'm going to guess that as well was the same. Yeah, so we need to have a look at the single and dual seat varieties, because that canopy there is definitely different to that canopy there, which might intimate that there is a cameraman in that aircraft, or it's set up for a different purpose. I don't know. They all seem to be carrying the same ordnance, so some sort of bomb by look of it, with missiles on the wingtips. So again, missiles, bombs on the wings, and then some sort of tank on the inboard, on the dorsal. It's interesting as well that this action scene is in the snow in the mountains, with so much of the recent activity of all US military being in the desert. We saw the desert, or I believe, I'm going to guess the US salt flats at the very beginning, used as a backdrop with a carrier, and now we're seeing snowy mountains. Now, to me, this is like a callback to, you know, the Yugoslav conflicts of the late 90s. Maybe there's some sort of storyline there. It could be Baltic, it could be Arctic, it could be, you know, anywhere of a northern or very southern climate. I'm guessing northern, so that, you know, the American audience can feel committed to it. They'll know where Europe is. They'll know roughly where, you know, some of the things are in the Mediterranean. They'll know Russia as a bad guy. It makes sense that there's something, but it's very interesting that this isn't sand, that it's snow.
The end is inevitable, Maverick. You're kind of headed for extinction.
Maybe so, sir. But not today.
That's an F-14, isn't it? That's definitely an F-14 at the end. So that's not an FA-18. That's an F-14. So this is a Tomcat. This is the direct callback to the original film. And I'm guessing that's a CG shot, because I'm not sure any of them still fly in US service, and I don't know if any were sold into private hands. Iran definitely won't have lent them one of theirs. So this is probably computer generated. The heat haze is good. You know, this is a heat haze effect here. The river looks very, very sedate, very, very still, though there is a good bit of agitation there as it would take the corner. So it's a good shot if the whole thing is CG. It's convincing me, though of course there's a lot of motion blur as it tracks the camera. So yeah, that's my 9-minute take on the Top Gun 2 trailer. Sorry I've been so snotty and sniffy. I'm excited for the film, and I hope it lives up to what I consider to be important, which is probably not what the critics would be looking for. Am I bothered that they're going to be singing, you know, around a piano again? Yeah, it's a bit lame, but there might be a purpose. And as I understand it, the gentleman at the piano is meant to be Goose's son. So this is You'll have to forgive me for forgetting the actor's name. I'm sure he's very tired of it after his career. But Goose obviously was killed in the first film, but he was married to the character played by Meg Ryan, so he and she had a son who was a baby in arms at the time, little blonde thing. After 30 years, that would make him, what, 32, 33 years old, and he's obviously in line to join the same outfit as Uncle Maverick. So that's my take on it. You know, you can kind of see that having watched this, there's an awful lot of things now with Tom Cruise on my screen, but luckily it's balanced out with Red Letter Media. Watch Red Letter Media. Bye, guys.